Okay, so see the little center line I've got drawn on the top of his head. That's a little trick that I've learned to get his eyes centered where you need them to be. So draw your little line right down the middle of his top of his head. Doesn't have to be very long. And then go the same distance on each side of that line. Now you see how I've got the front edge of his eyes kind of tapered back towards the front a little bit. And always remember to cut a little bit bigger than the lines that you've made, because you can always cut away, but you can never add to. Also, I've got his mouth drawn in here. And what I did was, everywhere, this little area that I've got cut out on both sides here, we're kind of going to use that for now as the mouth that goes all the way down. So you just start there, follow that line, and just continue up and round it towards the other one. On the bottom, draw your center lines. 2 center lines I've got drawn. We won't need this one right now, but on this one you can gauge how far your angle. See how I've drawn the center line here, and I've gone back up to that point, and I'm cutting his legs out on the inside. So we're going to come out towards the knee, out towards the knee, and then we're going to come straight down for now. Straight down, and then straight out. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, though, is we're going to go outside our eye lines. There's a nice deep little cut in there around his eyes. And we're going to cut from the outside towards that eye to make it sit up. Nice and deep. I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way around both of them. I might speed this up a little here. Alright, now we'll come on the outside of the eye, just cut it away. Now this is the benefit to having a smaller knife as opposed to the first time that I used. Probably that larger flex cut that I've got. You can probably see it laying over there to the right. Just be careful with it, because you don't want to cut off, you don't want to cut the eye off. Just come over to it, get it nice and deep, right beside it, right around it. You want to go nice and deep so that you don't cut where you don't want to. Okay, so let's go from his mouth here. Let's start working our way up just to establish that little line. You start from the line and come up. And let's take off this little bit down here too, below the line. We'll start at the line and come down a little bit. Round those corners off too. If you need to, just go ahead and you've got that corner there, so just come all the way back to the mouth. And we'll probably have to play with that and make it a little better. Just slide your knife across there. Get that flatness off of there. And it sounds like I'm going to have to go rescue Duke from the backyard. Old Bear doesn't care to be, he can bear to be out there all day long, but old Duke doesn't like to be out there all day. And what we want to do is we're going to round off all this. Everything here is going to be rounded. Take some more of this off underneath. You just need to stop and look. See what you've got. All this is going to be rounded up. Take all those flat edges off. Take this corner off again. And round that up. Make that mouth line. All this got to be taken off. You got to be very careful. Should have done the line. Should have done those eyes after I did this, but I wanted to get them set in place. Because if the eyes are already there, then you get a better idea of the look that you want. Still don't have enough off there. Take all those flat spots off. That's starting to look a little better. Around the back of his head again. All right, so let's come away from that for a while. We're going to leave the arms alone, and we are going to come down our angled line. A couple of cuts in there. Let's go and do both sides. Good and deep. I'm going to take quite a bit of that out and start chiseling away at that from the inside. Get in there a little deeper. Let's see if we can get up in that corner now. This is not easy, guys. Not easy. Alright, we're going to stop there. See if you can round off that middle. Hope you got a nice small knife to use. Alright, let's take a corner out here. Let's go and make that cut for his foot. And we may make it a little wider, a little more narrow as we go. But let's go on and take that corner out. See, the first time I did this, I wouldn't even have known how to do that little corner, more than likely. Let me cut that in. Okie doke. Take these corners off. I don't like that frog head, but I'm gonna leave it alone for a while. We'll come back to that. All right, so now we're going to start on the bends of his feet here. I'll put a little V-cut in here to establish his lower leg coming down towards the rock there. I'm going to draw some lines. We'll come back. Okay, so from the back of the rock angle straight forward, that's where we're going to put that line for his lower part of his leg. And then I've drawn his feet in here, long paddle looking feet. So we'll go on and start here, and we'll put us a nice little V-cut in. On his leg there. And we'll round off the back side of his hind end. Right in here. Do this on both sides. shape of a knee, backside of a knee. Get a little deeper. Okay, so now let's trace these feet. You want to make sure you don't get too awful close to that bottom. We're probably going to cut off anything that's underneath, just like that. We're just going to cut that off anyway. And come from the outside. And take out that sloppy little chunk there. Do the same thing on the outside. Like I said, we're gonna cut the lower part of that off anyway, like we did. Like I want to miss that. We're gonna go on and take that off underneath anyway. Because he's sitting on top of the rock. If we get in there a little deeper. All right, let's try this other one out. Same thing on the other side. I might speed it up right here too. Just kind of angle into that corner right there. Now we're going to take off some of this in between, some of this rock. what I'm trying to do is set on the previous frog that I did. I didn't set the feet in very deep. I wanted them a little deeper, probably because I'm using this knife to try to get in there. I'll try to get in a little deeper. Just go out the end and then we'll take the end off here in a minute. Down into that corner of his foot there. Slide your knife whenever possible. Alright, so let's take this upper part, this knee off, back in there nice and deep. And flatten them off there a little at the top. And still a little here at the end of the foot to take off. What I'm trying to do is round that rock off a little bit and have his feet big enough to where it really looks like his feet are, you can see them really well from the side. Just kind of hanging there. Alrighty. You can take off a few of these pencil marks. Guess it might come this direction, but it don't want me to. Against the grain. Alright, so we're about ready for some hands now. Still don't like that little area right there. Right, ready for some arms and some hands. Not really hands, just arms. See too many hands.